So I'm Purboo. I am a second-year Rotman Commerce student, focusing in finance and data science, and playing for the University of Toronto men's hockey team. This is my second year. Given last year was a COVID year, it's actually my first one.
I'm Murrell, and I'm an orthodontist right now. Graduated back in 1988, and I played at U of T here from 1985 to 1988, I guess. Something like that is so long that, but in that range, it was 4 years back then. I'm the oldest of 6 kids, of which the last child is a girl, and she's the only girl of all of my siblings, and Cole is the oldest of her children. And so I'm his uncle through her, and that's where it is.
Me and Uncle Fred have a great relationship. He's always been someone that I look up to, always the one that I can always depend on for advice. I feel like the student-athlete mentality is in both of us, and the competitive nature is in both of us. So I know, like when I first moved to Windsor, he would always call me and say, make sure you stretch, make sure you stretch, make sure you drink water. And it was like things that he was just banging out in a list that he knew that I had to do. And I always appreciated it because I knew how much he cared and how much he supported me. And I think that intensity and that focus that he has in basketball back in the day, but also with dentistry and orthodontics now is really what inspires me the most about him. So I actually really value everything that Uncle Fred has done for me and given for me, and our relationship's only grown now that I'm a little bit closer to him in the city now.
Cole, as well as my other nieces and nephews, has always been very special to me, very special to my wife. And, it's a thing where, as a student athlete, I always recognize each of them for that. And Cole has really excelled in that space and done a great job, and he continues to do a great job because he knows that that's really the requisite here. But he's lucky that his efforts have paid off, where he's an all-star player at the school and one of the best schools in the world, not let alone the country. And he's a player here and a student, so he's lucky, and I really cherish our relationship, and I always have. I started playing a little bit of basketball. I got to grade 9. I was the lousiest player on the team. I hardly knew what I was doing. I would just run around on a team. I'm not even sure why they picked me on the team in grade 9. But I realized that summer after grade 9 that if I worked a little bit, dribbled a little bit, shot a little bit, I could see real tangible improvements. And by grade 10, I was starting to play, and the things that I wanted to see happen actually started to happen, and so that's what really got me into it. But after that, I just played basketball every day, all day, until I was done. I knew I was always going to do healthcare, whether it was dentistry or medicine, and so I only tried to go, I wanted to go to a school that had it, and I applied to dental school at the University of Alberta. I got accepted. I applied at University of Toronto. I got accepted, and at that point, I decided that I wanted to come home and play, and I had the option, so that's how I ended up back here at U of T.
My mom, my dad, my 2 younger brothers, all of us played sports as well, so it's really like a sporting house. If you knew my grandma and grandpa, very hardworking, very determined, I would say, people. And that, I think, just comes down from the top, and you can see it in all of the uncles and my mom. It's really just funneled all the way down the tree, and you can see it now in all the cousins and everything that we're all doing. We have cousins all over the world now, whether it be studying in the States or playing soccer at Western. One of my cousins is, my 2 brothers that are playing. We're really, I think that dedication is just kind of in our blood now, and I think it really just comes from seeing the role models and having such a close, tight-knit family. I would say the elite side of it, I think the preparation is something that I definitely get from Uncle Fred. Everyone was an athlete, but maybe not to the extent that Uncle Fred was, and Uncle Fred, I would say, takes his craft, or took his craft, more seriously, from what I can see, and I wanted to take that intensity from him, so I know that I definitely connect with him on that level and try to pick all the resources and all the knowledge that he has. I was recruited here 2 years ago towards the end of my junior career, and I knew I was looking for a place that was good academics but also a really good hockey team. And I think me and Ryan and Andrew, our 2 coaches, we really connected on my first Zoom call, and it felt like a place that really I knew U of T through Uncle Fred. I knew that it was a very reputable school academic-wise, and I saw in the rankings that year they were doing really well, and I knew a couple guys on the team. I definitely leaned on Uncle Fred and a couple other people just to give me a little bit of insight into University of Toronto. And it was also, I wasn't as far as Alberta, but it was nice to come home after being in Windsor. Even though it's only a couple hours, it's nice to just be like a GO train away now. So that also contributed to my decision too. For me, I think it was just living in Canada is what brought me to hockey. As a kid, I played soccer, played baseball. My parents let me try out everything to see what I liked, but I think going to school and being in Oakville, and the biggest team was the Oakville Rangers and all my friends were playing for them. I was really like the first one in the family to take on hockey seriously, and I think the only reason that is just being in Canada. Our family is usually basketball, football, track, so hockey was definitely new to all of us, and there's no real explanation other than I think just my environment that drove me to hockey.
From the time Cole was a young boy, a very young boy, his eye-hand coordination was amazing. And I'm not sure if his parents remember me saying this, but it was freakish how good his eye-hand coordination was. And I always knew that he would be a good athlete. I didn't know it would be in hockey or what it would be in. To be honest, I always thought it might have been in basketball, but he was a special sort of coordinated athletic kid from very young. And so I always had a sense that he would do something, really well once he got into it. If you work hard and you work your hardest, you're going to get the most out of it and you're going to excel. If you don't work hard, it's just not going to happen. I don't care how much talent or how lucky you are, you need to work hard and be committed all the way in. And I think that's who Cole is and always has been. I mean, he was down in Windsor and all he did was train and train and train. And we would have conversations, whether it was once a week, every couple of days, and we would talk about his commitment to his hockey, but he was also in school during those times. So he did have academic, requirements then, and he fulfilled those, because if he didn't, he wouldn't be here right now. I mean, U of T, as you know, is one of the best schools in the world. Again, like I said before, not just a country, and you don't get in here just by showing up and being a good athlete, regardless of which space you're in. So you know that what he committed to, he's achieved, and he'll continue to do that. I never look at Cole with any sort of sense of trepidation, of possibility of failure. I simply look at Cole as just a continued on a continuum of achievement. And I'm confident that as he continues to put time in, his goals and aspirations will be met, and he'll continue to achieve the things that he decides he wants to achieve.
I do tell him sometimes, but I think just thank you for everything. Even though I was in Windsor, he was in Toronto, and we're both so busy, I know that no matter what, he's always there to support me, and always, if I need anything, I know that I can always call him, and I know that I can't give enough thanks for all of the things that he's done for me, probably things that I don't even know. So I honestly would just say thank you, and thank you for the continued support, because I know no matter what comes up, whether it be with school or with hockey in the future, I know that he's always someone that I can call, and that's honestly all I want to say.